Good day to you all. This is coming to you from Knowledge Base. In this video, I'll be solving November 2011 Part 2 WAEC Mathematics question for some students preparing for their whole level examination. Kindly subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit notification bell so as to always get my subsequent video. Please like, comment, and share this video with your loved one. Now let's go to the real work.
Question 5a says thus: the number of green, red, white, and black identical balls contained in a bag is as shown in the table we have below. In the table we have 2 green balls, 4 red balls, 3 white balls, and 1 black ball. The question says further: if 2 balls are selected at random without replacement, find the probability that both balls are green. Now, one thing we need to look very critical in the question is that the 2 balls are picked without replacement. That is very, very important. We need to take it very, very serious, because without replacement, when we pick the first and the second ball. Alright, so let's go ahead and solve this question. And when we're going to solve this question, theoretically, probability is the number of time event occur divided by the number of all possible outcomes. And as we can see, that's the total number of the number of time event occur divided by the total number of possible outcome we have for that particular event. Now let's look at it. The total number of balls we have in the bag is 10. How do we get 10? As you can see, we have 2 green balls, 4 red balls, 3 white balls, and 1 black ball. Now when you add these 2 green balls plus this 4 red ball plus this 3 white ball plus this 1 black ball together, we're going to have 10. And that 10 will give us the total number of balls we have in the bag. Now, the probability that the first ball we pick is going to be green without replacement is going to be 2 divided by 10. That is, we have 2 green occur in 2 times divided by the total number of balls we have in the bag. Remember the definition of probability, that the number of time event green occur in 2 times divided by the number of all possible outcomes. That is, all possible outcomes are all the total number of balls we have in the bag. So the probability that the first ball we pick is going to be green will be 2 divided by 10. And when you say 2 divided by 10, it's going to give us 1 over 5. 1 over 5, because 2 goes into 1, 2 goes in 10 is going to give us 5. So the probability that first ball pick is going to be green is 1 over 5. Now we go further, that the probability that the second ball pick is going to be green without replacement. Very, very critical, very important. We're going to take it very serious with that word, without replacement. Now let's look at it without replacement. What does that mean? Now we have 2 green balls in the bag, and remember we've already picked 1, and the probability that that 1 we pick out of the 10 balls is going to be green is 1 over 5. And the question said without replacement. That means we've already picked 1 green. So how many green being left in the bag? We have 1. And if we are having 1 green, what are the total number of balls remaining in the bag? Because we've already picked 1 without replacement. So that means the total number of balls remaining in the bag is going to be 9. So the probability that the second ball picked is green without replacement is going to be 1 over 9. That's the total number of time, the number of time green occur divided by the number of all possible outcomes. So the probability that the second ball pick is green without replacement is going to be 1 over 9. I hope you get that. All right. So now the question we want to solve is that the probability that the first and the second ball are green. Now, the probability that the first and second ball are green is just simple as this. The probability that the first ball is green and the probability that the second ball is also green. So how do we do that? In probability, when you have two events occurring together, that is the first one green and the second one green, we're going to multiply the probability. We're going to multiply the probability. So you can have it this way. The probability that the first ball green and the second ball green would be 1 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 9. Alright, so let me just put a line in between the screen. Alright, that is good. So now the probability that the first ball is green and the second ball is also green would be 1 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 9, and that will give us 1 over 45, because 5 multiplied by 9 will give us 45. So we have it at 1 over 45. That is the final answer, that the probability that the first ball pick is green and the second ball is also green. All right, thank you. Let's move ahead to question 5b. Question 5b. In a test, if a student had scored 80 marks in one of the subjects, his average mark in 8 subjects will be 62. If he has scored 64 marks in that same subject, what the score in the remaining 7 subjects unchanged, the average mark will be m. Find the value of m. Now this question is very simple, and I'm going to take it in a very simple way for you to have an in-depth understanding of this question. All right, normally average is equal to the total mark in all subjects divided by the number of subjects. The total mark in all subjects divided by the number of subjects. Now, this particular guy took 8 subjects. It took 8 subjects. And in the 8 subjects it took, the average mark was 62. The average mark was 62. So we have it that the average mark in 8 subjects the guy took was 62. Now, for us to know the total mark in the 8th subject, the total mark in the 8th subject, remember, average is equal to total mark in all subjects divided by number of subjects it took. So now the total mark in all the subjects it took is going to be 80 plus y. 80 plus y. Where do we get y from? I'm going to show you that. Now, 80 is the first mark is called out of the 8th subject. That means from 8th subject is called 80 mark in one of the 8 subjects. So what is the total mark in the remaining 7 subjects? We don't know, and that is what we are using y to represent. So for these, 80 plus y means the total mark in all the 8 subjects the guy took. Alright, so let's try to represent y as the total mark in the remaining 7 subjects. Now, going by the way of average formula, average is equal to total mark in all subjects divided by number of subjects the guy took. All right, so we can have our average at 62, as the question stated, and the total mark in all the 8 subjects now will be what? 80 plus y. Remember, it's got 80 in the one of the 8 subjects, and the total mark is got in the remaining 7 subjects. We are representing it as y. So divided by number of subjects, in the total number of subjects the guy took, which was 8. All right, so we can have the formula as 62 equal to 80 plus y divided by 8. 62 average, 80 plus y, the total mark in all the 8 subjects divided by the number of subjects it took, which was 8. All right, so now what we need to do now is to multiply both sides of this equation by 8, so that this 8 can cancel the 8 we are using to multiply this side, and this side we have it as 62 multiplied by 8, and we have the whole equation as this. So let's multiply both sides by 8. So we have the whole equation at this, which is 62 multiplied by 8 to be equal to 80 plus y. And here we can go further with this equation to have it as 62 multiplied by 8. That will give us 496 equal to 80 plus y. And here we can collect the like time. So this 80 can come to this side, and remember, in front of 80 we are having a positive sign. Imaginary, we are having a positive sign, and coming to this side, the positive sign will turn to a negative sign. So let's quickly collect the like times and see what we have in the equation. Now when you collect the like time, before I do that, let me just quickly demarcate the screen. All right, so when we collect the like time, we have the whole equation at this, which is what? 496 minus 80 to be equal to y. And when you have 496 minus 80, we have it as 416. So therefore y is equal to 416. All right, that is fine. Now let's look further into the question. The question states, if he has scored 64 marks in that same subject, he scored 80, and while the remaining 7 subjects remain unchanged, so the average mark will be m. So we need to find the m, which is the average mark when the guy scored 64 in one of the 8 subjects. All right, how do we do that? So if he scores 64 in the same subject with other 7 subject mark remain unchanged, so we still have our average as the total mark in all subjects divided by number of subjects it took. And this time around, we have been told that the average is m when the guy scored 64 in one of the 8 subjects. So the total mark in all the subjects this time around will be m, which is the average, equal to total number of mark in all the subjects will now be 64 plus y. Remember, the remaining mark in the 7 subjects remain unchanged. So we have it as m equal to 64 plus y divided by 8, which is 64. That's the mark is scored in one of the 8 subjects this time around. Y still remain the same as when it scored 80 in one of the 8 subjects. So divided by the total number of subjects the guy took, which was 8. So everything now can be equal to 64 plus y, and where y is 416, so we can substitute this 416 into this y. So we have the equation at 64 plus 416 divided by 8. 64 plus 416 divided by 8. Now when we have a 416 plus 64, what do we have there? 416, all right, plus 64, we have it as 480. All right, so we have 480 divided by 8. So m will now be 480 divided by 8. So when we have it as 480 divided by 8, so let's divide 480 by 8, and what are we getting? Sorry, 480 by 8. Let me do that again here. 480 divided by 8. What are we going to have? 60, and that will be the average mark this time around when this guy score 64 in one of the 8 subjects. So our m now will be equal to 60. That will be our final answer. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and like I always tell you, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can always get my subsequent video as I will continue solving the remaining question in this 2011. Very soon I'll pick on the recent year, and how we're going to I'm going to solve the whole question from the beginning to the ending. So please make sure you subscribe to this station one more time, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can always get my subsequent video. Thank you for watching.